fun today. With that being said, I want to first and foremost cover what we learned today at NFG. Today was the work session, but we also covered a magnitude of other things as well. After we take care of the NFG, what we're going to talk about today is going to be answering the question that I received. I won't say his name because I didn't mention that I would, but his main question is how to determine a traffic plan. What are the steps for determining, how much traffic, what kinds of traffic, what's the intent of the traffic? So how do you go about doing that? I want to go ahead and put those steps in place so then you know exactly how you can start increasing your signals in order to get higher rank. All right. So first and foremost, I want to cover what I learned today. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and cover that. What I did is I texted these messages to myself. So I'm going to go ahead and put up the messages. Shuttle bus wives, love you. I love you too. Thanks for coming on. Along with that, down below is a ticker. If you want to come on, ask questions, feel free. If you need any other assistance, there's another link right there to my calendar. I will be back in PA in about 2 days. All right, so go ahead. Either one of those is perfectly fine. Now, let's go ahead and get through some of these questions. Let me just find the, not questions. We will get to the question, but first and foremost, I want to cover some of the speakers and what exactly, to a degree, what did I learn today? All right, so the very first speaker today was Leo. He has a tool and that's called Keyword Cupid, right? So I did not utilize it because there's so many keyword tools out on the market, but after watching and speaking to him to see exactly how it works, it's actually quite slick and it's affordable. So he'll let me go ahead and utilize that. Now, what I like about it is it pulls out the intent and it's going to give me, based on the top competitors, it's going to give me the best formulation for my heading tags and then my H2s and H3s. Along with that, it's going to be pulling from the entire SERP for all the co-occurring keywords. So it gives me my co-occurring keyword list along with the heading tags that are properly optimized, along with that H2s, H1s, H3s. So it's a pretty unique tool for a fair price. I'm going to go ahead and use the trial. I think right now he has a trial on his site. It's the only reason I'm mentioning it. There's nothing, I don't think it's for sale. I'm not sure though. Don't hold me to that. So with that out of the way, that was the very first speaker. He spoke again today. He had some very interesting data regarding intent. Also, something that piqued my curiosity had to do with influencing search rank. I won't get into that heavily right now because it's, I don't know if, he kind of cut the conversation really short. So I don't know if that's something he wants to share, but I'll share it with my group when I get with them on Thursday. So I went ahead and texted myself some messages. So inside of the training, there's a gentleman, or inside of the conference, there was a gentleman. I guess this gentleman went in and figured out there's another group of guys that created a program called RYS. Well, what this gentleman did is he went in and reverse engineered the entire thing, added a lot of extra features, I guess, or added benefits to it, much like I did, right? Came up with his own twist, but he ended up partnering with them. So with that being said, he does something very unique, which he gives away for free. So I'm sure that it doesn't matter if I mention it. But something that he does that's very interesting is adding in a ID tag in order to write your schema one time instead of writing it out for each page. So you write it out one time, and then much like when you're utilizing, say, WordPress, you know how when you create WordPress and then it says, okay, this is the header, this is the footer, it'll populate those pages for you. So it's much like that. Anything you put into the head on every new page, it'll automatically be there. So what you can do is you can actually utilize and add an ID tag for each of those pages in order to cut down on workload when implementing schema. So I thought that was very interesting how that not only ties into CMS properties, but also some drive stacks, hint, hint, hint. So that was quite interesting. I had the pleasure of speaking to this gentleman. I truly enjoyed it. Along with that, we had some other presentations today. One Clint Butler, well-known name within our industry, within the community. Absolutely phenomenal presentation today. He stole the show today with quite a few nuggets. Now he dropped about 5 really good ones, but I'll pull one out that's probably a little bit more known, but it could potentially be helpful for you. So as far as schema, I know that there's a lot of debate regarding certain types of schema that could potentially harm the site or initiate a penalty. So from his research and what he knows, I don't know if it's readily available, what he has found is the main schema type that causes the issues, or the only penalty that schema brings, right? There's only one, and that's for utilizing the aggregate rating schema. Now, there are multiple other schemas is all I can say, or have the liberty of saying. I didn't ask them, but this is readily available, but I know that it can help you. You know, those aggregate ratings, if you're utilizing them on each and every page, this is against the guidelines. It should be based on your review page or a portfolio page, a page that is secluded for that, especially aggregate. So with that being said, you have a lot of options available to you. And by simply going to Schema, S-C-H-E, schema.org, if you're looking on schema.org, you can take a look here at the schemas. It's in the middle section here. And if you come over here and you take a look, all right, full list of types shown on one page. This is each and every one of the schema types that you can basically go ahead and add in. So with that being said, what I'm saying is take a look for any of the text derivatives, right? Any of the text types, right? When you're inside of here, if you take a look here, you'll notice, like say it's archive action. When I come in here, you can see how it says text here. I'll go ahead and scroll down for you. See how it says text? What you can do, anything that says text can be added into your JSON LD. All right. Now, with that being said, have a look inside of here. There's a magnitude of different types of schemas that could be implemented that will not give you a penalty. One that I've seen in the past that works very well for me, depending, niches are different, was product. All right. So try those out, test those out. Please note the tip was, hey, there's only one penalty coming from schema. It's that aggregate review schema. Aside from that, take a look at some of the other types of schema. Look for your text and then implement on the pages in order to reveal stars. This is definitely a CTR boost, right? An organic CTR boost. Much like a tip that was given by Mr. Ted Kabitis. Excellent. He's part of a group that I'm in that I love being in. I talked with him. We're going to be able to get together, so I'm excited about that. I'll also get together with Terry Powers. I was able to speak with a couple of these gentlemen to be able to build a better relationship so we can start getting some more content and, of course, learn, right? So I always love to learn. Anything that can help me in my business and produce results for my clients, I'm game, right? And plus, of course, make content to help you in your business, right? That's another one of my businesses. I like to help people. In any case, with that being said, what we're going to do here, oh, looks like somebody took me up. What's up, William?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Yeah, I put up the stream to see how many people we could get in, see if somebody wants to chat with the,
They better want to chat with you.
Looks like you were willing to chat. What I'm covering now is some of the tips that I learned today. I was speaking on the schema. Yeah. It was a schema. I guess there's only one type of schema that produces a penalty, and that's the aggregate rating schema. So what I was basically showcasing was, hey, maybe if you wanted to, feel free to go ahead and look within the schema page. Oh, you guys can't see it. Uh-oh. No wonder why. Okay. That makes more sense. Wonder why you're just nodding like, yeah, okay, dude. Let's go ahead and share this. So if you take a look here, like within all of these schema types, and I'm sure you know this, bro. If you take a look inside of here, you can see that there's text. Anything that's text means that it can be added to the page. So what he basically said is, hey, look for alternate types of schema in order to get that CTR boost. Another tip that was shared that I can share as a CTR boost And something that I wasn't implementing, and I shared this the other day, but it stood out so much to me and it made so much sense, and I'll share it again. When you're taking a look at a SERP, let's just say it's like SEO New York, right? I generally was not filling out the meta descriptions, right? And no, it's not a signal, but you know, when you have these meta descriptions, if you can get more bolded words, or variations is what they're called, obviously that is, you know, it catches the eye. So that made a little bit of sense to me, to have more variations within the meta description in order to catch the eye. I really like that one. So that was Ted Kubitis. Let's go ahead and keep going down the list, and then we'll talk about GMB, take any questions that you might have. Again, if you want to join, I put the invite link. It's scrolling across the bottom. Feel free. Come on in. It looks like William joined me. He must have been up and alive. Let's take a look here. So I was texting the messages to myself here. All right, so the ID tag for schema. Did you know about that, William?
Yep.
Yep, I knew about that, but I wasn't utilizing it because there sometimes is an issue with you can run into issues. You have to know what you're doing. Oh, links are recorded in Schema. We've talked about that on the channel before. That was pretty much it. The rest was just workshop sessions. So yeah, looks like
how many workshops do they have going on at NFG when y'all do that?
There was 3 tables filled. So it was quite plentiful.
Nice.
And it was really based on the criteria of the sessions, like the conference, you know. Cool. So it was pretty cool. So I got a question from a gentleman, and since you're here, maybe I'll ask you. Is there anybody else? Did anybody else join us? Nope, just us. Okay, that's okay. Let's take a look over here. So the text message that I received, let's go in here. All right, so I got a message on Facebook from somebody. Let me go ahead and read that off. What he's having trouble doing is trying to determine the traffic ratios for the different types of traffic based on like SEMrush or whatnot, because it's hard to get accurate traffic data for Google Maps. So what I'm going to do is I'm really making a video for him, answering any questions that anybody might have. But I'll go ahead and walk through the process of, you know, how am I figuring out what kind of traffic to send, and without having the exact numbers from GMB, right? So let's go over here and take a look at this. We're going to just pick one that might be inside the SERP here. All right, so this is for my friend that asked that. So let's just say we want to go for SEO New York, right? Because I'm sure there's all kinds of fun stuff going on over there. So we'll go in here.
New York's got like what, a 20 million population?
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Just a little difficult.
And that's definitely a vanity keyword, I would assume.
Yeah.
But what we'll do is we'll go ahead and bring this up, because what I told him was, I said, listen, go inside of there. I didn't say listen. Go in. You're going to put in your main keyword, say in the SEMrush, or use whatever you want. If I was on my home computer, I also like to use SimilarWeb to see what else is going on.
Yeah.
But say we want to go for New York SEO. But before I walk through my process, what do you generally do?
As far as traffic, it's SEMrush. It's the same, pretty much the same thing. I go to SEMrush. I don't use Hrefs too much. I used to use Hrefs. And then find out what the traffic is from there. If I'm looking for CTR specifically, or just in general, if I want to go after a certain keywords, it's going to be SEMrush. And then I also will look at, let's say Angie's List, Home Advisory, keyword research that way. And then as well as I just go to Google search. And then also there's another one, and people might laugh, but Google search, if you look at a keyword, let's say you want to go for, I was just doing one, water damage repair, and Google will tell you on a silver platter, these are all the other questions people ask. Yeah. So I pull my keywords from that as well. And then another place I like to get keywords or ideas from is Answer the Public.
So that's quite interesting. So what you're saying is you don't just figure out the 3 types of traffic, the branded, the discovery, and direct. you're literally looking for other types of opportunity.
Correct. It's if you will, buyer intent type keywords where someone's going to go. If I just type in water damage, I'm probably not looking necessarily for I could do it real quick, but let's say if I'm looking for water restoration,
Yeah.
and I'm probably not just going to type in water restoration company. I could type in something like, what do water restoration companies do? How much does it cost to restore water damage? All those keywords that a lot of times Google will say has like zero traffic, but yet at the same time, they also tell you people are searching for these keywords. And
Right.
these are going to be things that you can create content or articles or blogs or tips and guides and all that shit off of. And then that's what I do, you know.
And you do that on the main website?
I do that on the main website.
See, that's quite interesting. That's kind of the strategy that I went over at this conference here.
Yeah.
But I'm not using the actual website. What I like is because we know that referral traffic is a little bit stronger, right? If it comes from a trusted source, it's better traffic. Just like sending your traffic through links that you control over to one of your landing pages.
Correct.
That really helps not only that site, but your site. But what I've found is if I can create or verify a Google property, it doesn't have to be a business site, but it's cool. It could be a post, it could be anything. And I utilize that as a referrer or send traffic through there.
So we don't just put it on the main website. So for example, when we write a guide or a blog or a press release, we're taking that press release recently. I've been testing this. This is just recent. So we take that, and normally we take that, we put it in as a blog, then we take that, put it in YouTube, right? And then from YouTube embed it, and then from there do a press release. Now the newest thing I've actually started doing is now take that and putting it into Holly's Google News Network.
Oh, nice. How are you liking that?
Yeah, fool.
You like that?
That's my secret. I love it. I literally did that to one client. I think it was the first 3 days of testing it. He went from being in the top 20. He's now sitting at number 3 in the Google Map Pack and number 6 in organic. And then they had another one, which I posted, I think about a couple of days ago. He's now dominating. He went from he's dominating. It's crazy, but he's dominating about a 40-mile radius. So and this is in Prescott.
Very impressive.
So and that's actually for what was it? Home remodeling.
Yowza. So, and I'm assuming too, not to get off track to answer the question. I know the guys here are watching me, but would you say that the amount of competitors is a massive barrier as far as how far the stretch is?
Yes.
Yep.
You know, because you can do that in, let's say, Prescott, where it has, let's say, about 50,000 population. St. Louis, when I have about 175,000 population, I've got it out in St. Louis up to 40 miles. And that's at 175,000 population, landscaping, blue collar type jobs. I have not done that in a place, let's say New York City. This is not going to happen. You got thousands upon thousands of people. So it has a lot to do with their population. So as far as spreading it, normally I would tell you get multiple GMBs into it.
Yeah,
multiple GMBs, multiple websites. But in some of these cases, in these smaller areas, let's say 200,000 population or below, I can do it with one GMB.